Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Daily English Talks. I'm Mia, and I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that's incredibly important. If you want to truly speak English naturally and confidently, today we're diving deep into how to train your brain to think in English. Yes, that's right, thinking in English. This is one of the most powerful changes you can make to your language learning routine. And in this video, we're going to explore how you can do it, why it matters, and how you can practice it every day in your normal life, without needing any special tools or expensive courses, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate learner. This video is going to help you transform your English learning journey and make real progress in your speaking skills. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to change the way your brain connects with English forever. One of the biggest challenges for English learners is the constant need to translate everything in their minds. You might hear something in English, but before you can respond, your brain translates it into your native language, then thinks of an answer, and then translates that answer back into English. This process takes time, slows you down, and often leads to hesitation or confusion when speaking. But what if your brain could skip the translation? What if your thoughts could happen directly in English? That's what thinking in English means, and it's totally possible. In fact, it's the natural way to become fluent. Just like children who grow up with English, they don't translate from another language. They just think and speak in English. You can train your brain to do the same. But it requires consistent practice and the right mindset. The first step is to accept that it will be uncomfortable at first. Your brain is used to thinking in your native language, and that's completely normal. Don't worry if it feels strange or difficult. That's part of the process. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. So instead of saying, "This is too hard," start saying, "This is new, and I'm learning." This shift in mindset will help you stay motivated and positive, even when it feels slow. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about comfort and confidence. It's about being able to express your ideas and understand others without always needing to stop and think too hard. Let's start with a simple exercise. Right now, I want you to look around your room. Don't speak out loud. Just use your inner voice, the voice inside your head. Start naming the things you see, but do it in English. For example, if you see a table, say table in your mind. If you see a book, say book. You can expand this by adding simple sentences. Say, "This is my table," or "I am reading a book." Keep it easy and natural. Don't worry about making long or complicated sentences. The goal is to start using English as the language your mind naturally turns to when observing the world around you. You can do this practice anywhere. When you're walking outside, look at the people and objects around you and describe them in English. That man is wearing a blue shirt. The dog is running fast. It's a sunny day. These short, simple observations will start to create a habit of thinking in English. Over time, your brain will begin to reach for English words first, instead of your native language. This is a big win. This is how you build fluency in a real, practical way. Another great way to train your brain. is to talk to yourself in English. I know it might sound silly, but it really works. When you're alone, try narrating your actions in English. If you're making breakfast, say in your mind, I am boiling water. Now I'm making tea. I'm going to eat some toast. These little phrases help you connect language to real actions. You're not just learning vocabulary, you're living it. You're using English in a way that makes sense to your daily life. This kind of practice is extremely powerful because it uses the natural rhythm of your routine to build language skills. You don't need a language partner to do this. You don't need a teacher or a classroom. All you need is yourself and your daily life. The more you practice thinking in English throughout your day, the faster you'll improve. Start small and stay consistent. Over time, your confidence will grow, and your ability to speak English smoothly will improve. If you want to make this habit even stronger, you can create little scenarios in your mind. Think about something simple, like going to a supermarket. Try to imagine the whole situation in English. Imagine yourself walking through the store, picking up groceries, and thinking about what to buy. Say to yourself, I need some apples. Where is the milk? Let me check the price of this cereal. Visualizing everyday tasks in English helps your brain create a natural connection between language and action. It's not just memorizing. It's living the language mentally. When you do this kind of mental practice every day, even for just a few minutes, you'll notice a shift. Your brain will start to get used to English sentence structures. You'll become faster at forming thoughts and responding to situations. This is the key to fluency, not just studying English, but making English the way you process your world. It takes time, but every small effort you make adds up to real progress. Another effective way to train your brain to think in English is to use inner monologues. Inner monologue means talking to yourself in your head throughout the day. Instead of using your native language for your internal thoughts, switch to English. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can start with simple thoughts like, I am hungry. It is hot today. Or, I have to do the laundry. You can then move on to more complex thoughts, like, I wonder what I should cook for dinner. Or, I hope I have enough time to finish this project. The more you do this, the more automatic it becomes. Over time, you'll notice that English starts to become the default language in your mind for simple thinking. This is a strong sign of progress and a real step toward fluency. If you find it hard to do this at first, you can help your brain by repeating common phrases and sentence structures that you use in your daily life. For example, if you often ask yourself questions like, where are my keys? Or, what time is it? Try practicing those exact sentences in English again and again until they become automatic. Then, add new ones as they come up in your daily routine. This kind of repetition helps your brain recognize and reuse patterns in English, making it easier to think and speak naturally. To boost your thinking in English even more, try using your phone or notebook to write short diary entries in English. You don't need to write anything long, just a few lines about your day. You can write about what you did, how you felt, what you liked or didn't like. For example, you could write, today I woke up early. I made coffee and read a book. I felt relaxed. This kind of writing helps your brain connect English to your personal experiences. And when English is connected to real feelings and situations, it becomes easier to remember and use. You can also practice conversations in your head. Imagine you are talking to someone in English. It could be a friend, a teacher, or even a shop assistant. Create a little story in your mind. For example, imagine you walk into a store. You can think, "Hello, can you help me find a jacket?" And then imagine the reply, "Sure, what size are you looking for?" And continue the conversation. This kind of mental practice helps prepare your brain for real conversations. It makes you more confident and reduces the fear of speaking because you've already rehearsed the situation in your mind. Another important technique is to listen to English as much as possible. When you listen regularly, your brain starts to recognize the sounds, rhythm, and patterns of the language. You can listen to English podcasts, music, news, or YouTube videos. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain is still learning. Over time, you'll begin to understand more without translating. This is a major step toward thinking in English. You're not just learning words, you're absorbing the natural flow of the language. Try to listen actively. That means really paying attention, not just having the sound in the background. Think about what the speaker is saying. Try to repeat phrases or copy their tone and rhythm. This helps your brain practice both comprehension and speech patterns at the same time. Now, let's do a practice exercise together. I'll describe a situation, and you will try to create thoughts in English about it. Imagine you are waking up in the morning. Think in English. I just woke up. I feel tired. I want to sleep more. But I have to get up. I need to brush my teeth and take a shower. These are all simple thoughts, but they reflect real-life situations. Try to continue the inner monologue. What should I wear today? I think I'll wear the blue shirt. I have a meeting at 10. I need to prepare. Practicing in this way, using daily moments, is one of the easiest and most effective ways to make your brain switch to English. You might be wondering how long it takes to start thinking naturally in English. The answer depends on how much you practice. Some people begin noticing changes in just a few weeks, while others might take a few months. The important thing is to stay consistent. Make English a part of your daily life, not just a subject you study. Think in English when you cook, when you walk, when you clean, or when you're waiting for something. Use every spare moment as an opportunity to practice. These small steps will turn into big changes over time. Another tip is to label things around you in English. If you're still learning vocabulary, this can be very helpful. Use sticky notes and place them on items in your house. Write the English word for the object, like mirror, chair, refrigerator, lamp, and so on. Every time you see the object, your brain will connect the word with it. Eventually, you won't need the note anymore because your brain will automatically recognize it in English. This is a powerful way to associate language with the physical world and not rely on translation. Also, try using English when thinking about your plans or goals. For example, if you're thinking about what you want to do this weekend, do it in English. I want to go to the park. Maybe I'll see a movie. I should call my friend. Making plans in English is a great way to practice future tense and organize your thoughts. It helps your brain work with English even when dealing with abstract ideas like planning or reflecting. This will help you not just in conversations, but also in writing and comprehension. Let's try another practice exercise. Imagine you are cooking dinner. Think, I'm washing the vegetables. Now I'm cutting the onions. I need to boil water. Where is the salt? I think this needs more pepper. Keep describing everything you're doing, step by step, in English. These small phrases are real language. They are what native speakers use every day. And if you can start thinking like this, your brain will get used to forming English sentences naturally. This is how you make English a part of your thought process. You might also find it helpful to set reminders during your day to stop and think in English. For example, every hour, take 1 minute to describe what you're doing in English. Say, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm working on a report. Or, I'm walking to the bus stop. These short moments add up. They remind your brain that English is not something separate. It's something you live with and use. Over time, your mind will start to do this automatically, without needing a reminder. The most important thing to remember is that thinking in English is a skill. Like any skill, it can be learned and improved with practice. Don't be hard on yourself if it doesn't happen immediately. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking. Even if only in your mind. Slowly, the effort will start to feel easier. One day, you'll catch yourself having a thought in English without trying. That moment will be proof that your brain is changing, growing, and becoming fluent in a new language. One more technique that can help you think in English is shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speaking English and repeat what they say almost at the same time. This forces your brain to follow the rhythm and sounds of English in real time. When you shadow, your mind doesn't have time to translate. Instead, it starts to process and respond in English naturally. You can use videos, audiobooks, or podcasts for this. Choose something with clear speech and topics you find interesting. Start slowly. Listen to one sentence, then pause and repeat. Then try doing it without pausing. You're training both your listening and speaking skills. And most importantly, you're forcing your brain to stay in English mode. Reading in English is also an important part of training your brain. But don't just read silently reading out loud. When you read out loud, your brain connects the written words to their spoken sounds. This builds stronger mental connections between the language and how it's used. Start with simple texts like short stories, news articles, or dialogues. Read slowly and focus on understanding. If you come across new words, try to guess their meaning from context. This will train your brain to work with English without relying on translation. A great exercise is to pick a short paragraph and read it out loud 3 times. The first time, focus on pronunciation. The second time, focus on speed and fluency. The third time, focus on emotion and intonation. Imagine you're really speaking to someone. Feel the rhythm of the sentence. This will help you become more comfortable with the sound of English and prepare your brain to use it naturally when you think. Writing your thoughts down in English also helps train your brain. For example, at the end of your day, you can write a short summary. Today was a good day. I finished my work early. I had lunch with a friend. We talked about our weekend plans. I felt happy and relaxed. These short daily reflections help reinforce vocabulary and grammar in a personal way. They turn English from a subject into a tool for expressing yourself. The more you do this, the more your brain becomes comfortable using English as your default language for thinking. Let's try a practice activity. Think about yesterday. What did you do from morning to night? Try to think in English and describe your entire day in your head. You can start with something like, I woke up at 7. I brushed my teeth and took a shower. Then I made some coffee and ate breakfast. After that, I started work on my computer. I had a video meeting in the afternoon. Later, I went for a walk. In the evening, I cooked dinner and watched a movie. Try to continue this inner monologue with as much detail as you can. The more details you add, the more your brain is challenged to use English. And that's exactly what we want. Using English in social media can also help. Try to follow English-speaking accounts. Comment in English, even if it's just a few words. Join English learning communities, where people post questions, answers, and stories. When you interact in English, your brain starts to see English as a real communication tool, not just a school subject. Even liking posts or writing small replies in English gives your brain a reason to stay in English mode. It keeps you active and mentally engaged in the language. If you have favorite hobbies like cooking, gaming, or photography, explore them in English. Watch cooking tutorials in English. Read game reviews or how-to guides in English. Look at photography tips written in English. When you combine your interests with language learning, your brain becomes more motivated to stay in English. You're not only practicing the language, you're learning something fun and useful at the same time. Another strong method is visualization. This means imagining a full situation in your mind in English. Try closing your eyes and imagining yourself in a new place, maybe at an airport. Imagine the announcements, the signs, the conversations. Think, I need to check in my bag. Where is gate 23? Can I have a window seat, please? You're building a story in your head using English. This trains your brain to think quickly in real-life situations and helps prepare you for actual conversations. You don't always need to speak perfectly. Many learners worry about making mistakes. But making mistakes is part of learning. If you're afraid of thinking incorrectly in English, your brain will avoid it. Instead, allow yourself to be imperfect. Say the wrong word, use the wrong tense, it's okay. What matters is that you keep trying. Every mistake is a chance to improve. Over time, you'll naturally get better. Your thoughts will become more accurate and fluent. The important thing is not to stop or switch back to your native language just because you're unsure. Keep going in English. Trust that with practice, it gets easier. If you enjoy watching television series or movies, try watching them in English with English subtitles. This is a great way to connect spoken and written English. You hear how native speakers talk, and you see the words at the same time. Try repeating short lines after the characters. Even better, pause and try to guess what the character will say next. This kind of active engagement makes your brain stay alert and practice real-time thinking in English. Let's do one more guided mental practice. Imagine you are at a cafe. You walk in and look around. Think in English. It's busy. I see people working on laptops. The smell of coffee is strong. I like it. Now, imagine ordering. Hello, can I have a cappuccino, please? Do you have almond milk? I'd like it to go. Picture the barista responding. Try to imagine the full conversation in English. Even if you're just making it up, your brain is practicing forming ideas, making sentences, and flowing through a situation using English. This is powerful because it builds confidence and flexibility. Lastly, Remember that learning to think in English is not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual change. It starts with simple thoughts. It grows with daily practice. It becomes natural through repetition and consistency. Every time you make the choice to think in English, even for 1 minute, you're building the habit. Over time, your brain will start to prefer English in certain situations, then in more situations. And eventually, it will become a normal part of your thinking. You will feel more fluent, more confident, and more ready to speak without stopping to translate. Keep going. Stay motivated. Use the tools around you, your thoughts, your routine, your hobbies. Think in English when you're quiet, when you're bored, when you're walking or waiting. These are all chances to practice. You don't need anything special, just your own thoughts, and the willingness to stay with English as much as possible. Thinking in English is not just for advanced speakers. It's something every learner can begin today. And once you start, you're already on your way to fluent, natural, confident English speaking. Another helpful activity is describing what you see around you in English. This is a simple but very powerful method to train your brain to think in English. Wherever you are, take a moment to look at your surroundings and describe them to yourself in English. For example, if you're sitting in your room, you could think, there is a desk in front of me. My laptop is open. I see a cup of coffee next to my notebook. The window is open and the sunlight is coming in. These are small, easy sentences, but they teach your brain to form thoughts in English using real, present situations. This kind of exercise helps bridge the gap between your thoughts and your environment. And because you are describing what you see, you always have something new to talk about. You can take this further by adding more detail or using different sentence types. Instead of just saying, there is a chair, you can say, the chair looks comfortable. I like the soft cushion. Or you could say, I usually sit on this chair when I read. You can also describe how things make you feel. For example, this room feels quiet and peaceful. The sunlight makes it warm. I enjoy working here. Adding feelings and emotions to your descriptions helps you develop a more natural, expressive way of thinking in English. You begin to connect the language not just with facts, but with personal experiences. You can also practice this exercise while walking outside. As you walk down the street, describe what you see. I see a woman walking her dog. The cars are waiting at the traffic light. A man is talking on the phone. The sky is cloudy today. By observing your environment and forming simple English sentences, you are constantly feeding your brain with natural English structure. It becomes easier over time, and you start doing it without thinking. Try to make this a regular part of your day. You don't need a special time or place. Just make a habit of describing things in your head whenever you can. If you see a tree, think, the tree is tall. Its leaves are green. The wind is moving the branches. These short, easy sentences are the building blocks of fluent thinking. And the more you build, the stronger your English becomes. Another great way to train your brain is to ask yourself questions in English and then answer them. This mimics the way we naturally think and communicate. For example, you can ask yourself, what should I eat for lunch? And answer, maybe I'll have some rice and vegetables. Or, why am I feeling tired? And answer, because I didn't sleep well last night. This back and forth thinking helps you develop conversational thinking in English, even when you're alone. You can also use this technique with daily planning. Ask yourself, what do I need to do today? And answer, I need to check my emails, clean the kitchen, and call my friend. You are training your brain to not just understand English, but to use it for actual life decisions. This creates a deeper connection with the language because you are using it for something real and meaningful. Let's try another practice activity now. Close your eyes and imagine your morning routine. Think through each step and describe it in English. I wake up. I stretch my arms. I turn off the alarm. I sit up in bed. I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I make breakfast. I drink tea. Then go deeper. I like hot tea in the morning. It helps me feel awake. I usually eat toast with eggs. Sometimes I eat fruit. The more detailed you are, the more your brain learns to think naturally in English. Try doing this daily for different times of the day: morning, afternoon, evening, or even bedtime. When you think about the past, try to do it in English too. Reflecting on your day, your week, or even your childhood helps you use different tenses and develop fluency in talking about events. You can think. Reflecting in English, even silently, teaches your brain how to talk about real-life experiences. This is exactly what you need when speaking with others. Music can also help you think in English. When you listen to English songs, try to follow the lyrics. Then, try to sing along. Singing helps your brain remember phrases, vocabulary, and rhythm. You don't have to be a good singer. The goal is not to perform, but to practice. You can even take a line from a song and use it as a sentence starter. For example, if the song says, "I'm feeling good today," you can continue, "I'm feeling good today because the weather is nice. I'm feeling good because I finished my work early." You are using the song as a springboard for your own English thinking. Another fun way to practice is to imagine being a character in a movie. Pretend you are the main character in a film, and think about what you would say in different scenes. For example, imagine you are in a hospital. Think, "I hope she's feeling better." Then imagine the doctor arrives. "Hello, doctor. How is she? Can I visit her now?" This playful exercise not only helps you think in English, but also prepares you for real-life conversations. One more tip is to listen to yourself. That means noticing your own thoughts and catching yourself when you switch back to your native language. When you realize that you're thinking in your first language, pause and try to repeat the thought in English. It might be difficult at first, and you may not have all the vocabulary, but that's okay. Just try to express the idea, even if it's simple. For example, if you think in your language, "I forgot to buy milk," try to stop and think, "How would I say that in English?" Then say it, "I forgot to buy milk." This constant self-correction builds awareness and gradually shifts your default thinking language. Also, give yourself positive feedback. When you manage to think in English, even for a few seconds, praise yourself. Say, "Great job. I just thought in English." This may sound small, but it trains your brain to enjoy using English. The more positive emotion you connect with the language, the easier it is to stay motivated. Confidence is not built in one day. It's built by recognizing and celebrating small wins. Learning to think in English is like building a muscle. You have to use it regularly. Some days will feel easy, and some days will feel hard. That's okay. What matters is showing up and practicing. Think in English when you are eating, walking, cooking, waiting, or even brushing your teeth. Every moment is a chance to practice. And with time, your brain will adapt. Thinking in English will stop feeling like an effort. It will feel natural, smooth, and automatic. Another way to train your brain to think in English is to change the language on your devices. Set your phone, laptop, and apps to English. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but it forces your brain to constantly engage with English. You'll begin to recognize common phrases and words without needing to translate them. Every time you use your phone to check the time, read a message, or change a setting, your mind is exposed to English vocabulary in real-life use. You'll learn how to say settings, notifications, battery, storage, and many other common terms without even trying to memorize them. This kind of passive learning is powerful because it becomes part of your everyday life. Even better, when you receive messages or notifications, read them in English. If you use social media apps, try reading posts and comments in English. Respond to posts in English. The more you make English a normal part of your digital world, the more natural it becomes to think in English. It becomes automatic. And that's the goal, to make English automatic in your brain. Also, try creating to-do lists in English. Instead of writing your tasks in your native language, use English. For example, write, buy groceries, finish project, call mom, clean the kitchen. It might seem like a small change, but it helps your brain process tasks in English. Every time you look at your list, you're reading in English. When you check off a task, you're interacting with English. Again, this connects the language to your real life, making it more personal and more practical. You can also try using English for notes, reminders, or journal entries. If you have an idea or a plan, write it in English. For example, tomorrow, I want to wake up at 6 a.m., go for a run, and eat a healthy breakfast. Or, I need to prepare for my meeting at 10. I'll review the presentation slides tonight. Writing your plans in English prepares your brain to use English in future situations. You're training it to think ahead in English. Practicing inner dialogue in English is also an effective technique. We all talk to ourselves silently in our minds. That voice you hear in your head, the one that says, I need to get up, or I forgot my keys, try to make that voice speak in English, even if it's only for a few minutes each day. It creates a mental environment where English is the primary language. You don't need to be perfect. Just keep it simple. Start with thoughts like, I'm hungry. Where are my shoes? Or, I have to go to work now. Then expand the thoughts. I'm hungry. Maybe I'll eat some fruit. I had a banana yesterday. Maybe today I'll have an apple. The more you practice, the more fluent that inner voice becomes. One of the best ways to strengthen thinking in English is to use stories. Storytelling is deeply connected to language and memory. Try creating simple stories in your mind using English. For example, imagine a short situation. Finally, the dog stops at the park gate. The girl catches up and laughs. This short story helps your brain practice past tense vocabulary and sentence flow. You can create different stories each day. Make them fun. strange, or emotional. For example, a man finds a magic key. He doesn't know what it opens. He tries it on different doors. Finally, it opens a secret library. Or, a woman loses her phone in the city. A kind stranger finds it and returns it. They become friends. By imagining stories in English, you keep your brain active and creative in the language. This also helps you think faster and with more flexibility when you speak. Try this story practice now. Think of a character. Give them a name. What are they doing today? Where do they go? Who do they meet? What happens next? Try to tell the whole story in your mind using English. Don't worry about grammar. Just let the ideas flow. You can even say the story out loud if you feel comfortable. This builds confidence and helps you become a natural thinker in English. When you are at home, try talking to objects around you in English. It might feel silly at first, but it works. For example, say, "Hello, fridge. What do you have for me today?" Or, "Microwave. Please heat my food quickly." This kind of playful speech keeps you using English in simple, familiar settings. It creates a fun relationship with the language and helps break the fear of speaking. And because there's no one else listening, there's no pressure. You can be creative, make mistakes, and enjoy the process. Another useful idea is to repeat phrases or expressions you like. If you hear a phrase that sounds natural or fun, use it. Repeat it in your head throughout the day. For example, if you hear someone say, "That sounds great," try using it mentally in different situations. Lunch at 1? That sounds great. Going to the beach? That sounds great. These small repetitions help you develop fluency in common expressions, which are very important for real conversations. You can also practice switching your inner language. This means catching yourself when you think in your native language and gently changing that thought to English. For example, if you think, "I need to study later," in your own language, pause and say it in English. "I need to study later." This habit takes time, but it helps your brain get used to making English your first mental choice. Every time you switch, you teach your brain that English is your new default. Set small time goals. For example, tell yourself, "For the next 5 minutes, I will think only in English." During those 5 minutes, describe what you're doing, what you see, how you feel, or what you need to do next, all in English. As you get better, increase the time to 10, 15, or even 30 minutes. Eventually, you can aim to spend whole hours thinking in English. With practice, it will no longer feel like an effort. It will become a habit. And don't forget to rest your brain too. Learning a language takes energy. If you feel tired or overwhelmed, take a short break, relax, and come back with a fresh mind. Thinking in English is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Some days will be harder than others. And that's okay. What matters is that you come back to the habit again and again. That's how long-term progress happens. Let's now explore how you can use your daily routines to help your brain switch into English thinking mode more consistently. Your daily activities are already part of your life, and you don't need to change them to learn English. You just need to change how you think while doing them. For example, when you wake up and go to brush your teeth, Instead of letting your mind wander or thinking in your native language, start forming simple English thoughts like, I am brushing my teeth now. This toothpaste tastes minty. Or, I slept well last night. These little thoughts may seem small, but they are incredibly powerful. They signal to your brain that English is the language you want to operate in. When you're making breakfast, continue thinking in English. Try saying to yourself, I'm going to make some eggs. Or, I'm boiling water for tea. If you add more variety, you'll get even more out of it. I'm making toast. The bread smells good. I like the sound of it popping up from the toaster. You can also use these moments to ask yourself questions. Do I have enough milk? What should I eat today? Is the pan clean? These common everyday sentences are often the ones we use most in real life, so it's important to practice them while thinking in English. Another strong technique is to rehearse conversations in your head. For example, imagine you're going to the store. Even before you get there, think about what you might say. Excuse me. Where can I find the bread? Do you have fresh tomatoes? Can I pay by card? Even if you don't actually speak during the shopping trip, this mental practice prepares your mind for future situations. You are mentally rehearsing, and your brain is building confidence in forming English sentences. You can also reflect on these activities afterward. When you come back home, think in English about what happened. I went to the store. I bought some apples and bananas. The cashier was friendly. It was a short line today. Describing your own experiences, no matter how ordinary, is a great way to connect English to your life. This helps turn English from something you study into something you live. Now let's try a practice together. Imagine a typical afternoon. You come home from work or school. What do you usually do? Think about it in English. I take off my shoes. I put my bag on the chair. I sit down and check my phone. I feel tired, so I lie on the couch. Then go deeper. I had a busy day today. I had 2 meetings and a lot of emails. My head feels heavy. I think I'll take a short nap. As you mentally walk through your routine in English, you are reinforcing your vocabulary, sentence structure, and thinking ability. The more detailed your thoughts, the more natural your English will become. Even small tasks like doing the laundry can be turned into practice. Think, I need to wash my clothes. The basket is full. I'll use cold water for the white clothes. I need to add detergent. I wonder if I should also clean the bed sheets today. Again, we're not talking about big, fancy words. These are simple sentences, but they are exactly the kinds of thoughts that build fluency over time. And they make your English learning feel useful, real, and connected to your daily world. Let's look at another helpful practice. Planning your day in English every morning. When you wake up, spend just 5 minutes thinking about your day's plan. But do it in English. For example, today I need to go to the bank. Then I'll visit my friend. I'll have lunch at the new cafe. In the evening, I'll study English and maybe watch a movie. This habit helps you start your day in English thinking mode. And because it's a routine, your brain begins to expect and prepare for it. Similarly, in the evening, you can reflect on your day in English. Ask yourself, what did I do today? And then answer, I worked on a project. I met a friend for coffee. I learned 5 new English words. I also listened to an English podcast. This builds the ability to talk about past events in English, which is something many learners find challenging. When you do it as part of your daily reflection, it becomes easier over time. A really fun and creative method is to keep an imaginary diary in your mind. Think of it as a private conversation with yourself in English. At the end of the day, close your eyes and imagine you're writing or saying something like, "Dear Diary, today was a good day. I felt happy in the morning because the weather was sunny. At work, I finished my tasks early. In the afternoon, I had a nice walk in the park." This kind of mental diary helps you practice personal storytelling in English, and it's a great way to develop your ability to express emotions and experiences in the language. Also, try pretending that you're teaching someone English. This may sound strange, especially if you're still learning yourself, but it's very effective. For example, when you learn a new word or expression, pretend you're explaining it to someone else in English. Say something like, "The word delicious means something tastes very good. For example, this cake is delicious." Teaching forces your brain to organize information clearly and reinforces what you've learned. You can also practice this technique with grammar rules. For example, say to yourself, "We use the present simple tense for daily routines." For example, "I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. Or, the past tense of go is went, so I say, "Yesterday I went to school." This kind of self-teaching trains your mind to recall and explain English rules and patterns, which strengthens your memory and builds confidence. Now let's try a mental exercise. Think of 3 things you did yesterday. Describe them in English. Try to use the past tense. For example, "I went to the park. I saw 2 kids playing soccer. I sat on a bench and read a book for 30 minutes. Then, think of 3 things you plan to do tomorrow. Use the future tense. For example, tomorrow I will go to the grocery store. I will cook dinner for my family. I will watch an episode of my favorite series before bed." Practicing these sentence patterns past, present, and future helps your brain switch easily between different tenses, which is key to fluent thinking and speaking. Finally, remember that mistakes are not failures, they are part of the process. When you think in English and realize you made a mistake, don't stop or criticize yourself. Instead, gently correct it if you can, and move on. Your brain learns from these moments. And every time you catch and correct a mistake, your brain becomes faster and more accurate. The journey of thinking in English is gradual. It starts with a few simple thoughts here and there. Over time, it becomes minutes, then hours, then entire days. Some days will feel smooth, others more difficult, but every thought counts. Every effort you make adds up. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Thinking in English is not just a language skill, it's a mindset. And you're training that mindset every single day. Now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of thinking in English consistency. You can try all the techniques and strategies in the world, but if you don't practice them regularly, they won't have much effect. Your brain needs repetition to create strong connections. It needs to hear, see, and use English often to start thinking in it naturally. This doesn't mean you have to study for hours every day. It simply means you should create small habits that include English in your daily routine. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused English thinking every day is enough to build real fluency over time. Start by choosing a specific time of day for English thinking practice. For example, While having your morning tea or coffee, decide to spend that time only thinking in English. Describe how the drink tastes, how you feel, what your plans are. Keep your thoughts simple and honest. For instance, this tea is hot. I feel sleepy. I have a lot to do today. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about training your brain to use English in real time. You can also pick specific activities that will always be done in English. For example, if you enjoy walking, make your walk your English thinking time. As you walk, describe your surroundings in English. There's a big tree on the left. A bird just flew past me. The sky looks cloudy today. These real-world thoughts help you create strong links between your environment and English words. And because you're thinking while moving, your brain remembers things better. Movement and language are closely connected in the brain, and this combination boosts learning. When you watch movies, television shows, or videos in English, try to repeat sentences in your head or out loud. Listen to a sentence, pause, and repeat it. Try to imagine yourself in that scene, saying the same thing. If a character says, "I can't believe it," repeat it to yourself. Say it with emotion, like you mean it. This will train your brain not only to understand words, but to feel the rhythm and emotion behind them. These details matter a lot when you start to think in English automatically. You can also mimic conversations. When two characters are talking in a scene, try to repeat both parts of the conversation. This helps your brain understand how real communication flows. For example, one character says, "What are you doing later?" The other replies, "I'm going to meet some friends." Now pause and act it out. Say the first line, then the second. Add your own lines. "I'm going to meet some friends. We'll have coffee. Maybe go shopping afterward." It's a powerful way to internalize common phrases and expressions. Try another practice now. Imagine a friend calls you on the phone and asks, "What are you up to?" Answer in English in your mind. "Oh, I'm just relaxing. I had a long day. I'm thinking of watching a movie." Or, "I'm cooking dinner right now. Just some pasta and vegetables." These short imaginary conversations help you think on your feet. They simulate real interactions without any pressure. Another great habit is to keep a vocabulary journal. Not just to write down new words, but to use them in your thoughts. Let's say you learn the word efficient. Don't just memorize it. Use it in your inner thoughts. "I want to be more efficient today." "I'll make a list and finish my work early." Or, "This machine is very efficient. It saves time." By thinking with new vocabulary, you're teaching your brain to use the words actively, not just recognize them passively. You can also challenge yourself to describe emotions in English. We often use emotional language every day, so it's important to be able to express those feelings in English too. For example, instead of just feeling stressed, say to yourself, "I feel overwhelmed right now." There's too much to do. Or, if you feel proud, say, "I'm proud of myself. I did well today." These emotional expressions connect English to your real thoughts and help you gain more comfort in expressing yourself in the language. Another idea is to set a theme for the day. Choose one topic and try to think and talk about it in English during the day. For example, today's theme could be food. As you go through the day, describe meals, ingredients, tastes, smells all in English. I'm eating rice and vegetables. The food smells spicy. I like this flavor. Tomorrow's theme could be work. I have 3 tasks to complete. I need to send an email. My coworker is very helpful. With themes, you give your brain a focus, which helps with vocabulary and fluency. Let's try a practice now. Think of the theme, weather. What's the weather like today? Say it in English. It's sunny and hot. I like the warmth. Or, it's raining outside. I can hear the raindrops. It feels peaceful. Then go further. When it rains, I feel sleepy. I want to drink tea and stay inside. This kind of thinking builds comfort and ease in expressing real-life experiences using English words. Finally, don't forget to reward yourself for small wins. When you realize you've spent 10 minutes thinking in English, smile. When you understand something without translating, congratulate yourself. These small victories add up. They remind you that you're growing. You're not just learning English, you're living it. And that's what truly matters. Remember, fluency doesn't mean knowing every word or grammar rule. It means being able to think and communicate clearly, even with simple words. It means feeling confident enough to express your ideas, ask questions, and connect with others. Thinking in English is the bridge between learning and speaking. It's the invisible skill that makes all other skills stronger. The more you practice thinking in English, the more automatic it becomes. One day, you'll catch yourself forming a thought in English without even trying. That's a beautiful moment. It means your brain has accepted English as one of its natural languages. And from that point forward, your growth will be even faster. So keep going, keep thinking, keep creating English in your mind every day. Whether you're walking, cooking, driving, or just sitting quietly, use that time to engage your brain in English. It's a habit that will change everything. You'll speak more naturally, listen more clearly, and feel more confident. You're doing something amazing for yourself, and the results will come with time and consistency. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this video has helped you see the value of thinking in English and given you lots of ideas and practice to make it part of your daily life. Keep practicing, stay positive, and remember you're capable of becoming fluent, one thought at a time.